tripping. I just don't rock with the pedos you be hanging with. And he says, and you don't gotta support them. You don't gotta support them, huh? Shouldn't the rebuttal be that they are not pedos? The rebuttal is you don't gotta support them. So why do you support them then, sir? Sir, they about to DP you, man. You off the squad after this, bro.
Only down with 19 keys.
With the pedophiles, though.
He's violent. Hell no. He's violent.
Clear. I support the pedophiles.
You cannot support
I
them.
support you as a black man. You
Okay.
understand me? And hopefully you get on the right side on some black God
You don't
time.
like Trump. I accept it. You don't like Trump.
Somehow he knew exactly who the pedo was. 19 Keys did not say a name. All 19 Keys said was, man, I don't rock with the pedo he be with. Right? Hey, brother, I support you as a black man. I just don't support the pedo. You don't gotta support them. Yeah, I don't support the pedo. So, like, you don't like Trump? But how you know who the... Somehow, y'all argue to the brim about who this man is, his preference, right? His involvement with Epstein. Y'all argue to the brim. He's not this, he's not that. But somehow when somebody brings up the pedo, y'all know exactly who they talking about. That's an indictment on how y'all think about Trump, how y'all think about MAGA. Now, I consider all those nasty dudes the Epstein class. I mean, that's just me, bro. I quite frankly don't differentiate between Trump and Epstein, Bill Gates and Epstein, Elon and Epstein, and the other. But I don't differentiate between them. I feel like they're all the same. They're all carrying out the same agenda, right? They're all riding for the same people, right? Like they all have the same order for the new world. That's who they are. But somehow the people who deny to the brim this man is that somehow understands and recognize who we're talking about right when we say pedo. Even Trump slipped up. Y'all remember like when Trump was doing like that interview, right? And the interviewer was describing, this manifesto said he was going against the pedos. Trump says, well, he's lying. I'm not a pedo. And the interviewer says, wait, you think he was talking about you, sir? And the whole interview gets shut down.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to
Well, I
that?
was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you
I'm not a
think he
pedophile.
was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
and I
these
was
are the
never,
gunman's words.
excuse me, you shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace, but go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
the other thing in the manifesto that
If somebody asks somebody who subscribed to my YouTube channel, hey, bruh, you be watching that pedo? And out of all the people they're subscribed to, they say, how Flacco not no pedo? Man, bro, when I catch you, we fighting, we mixing up. Are you crazy? Why would you assume they're talking about me when we all know I'm not a pedo, right? So for Trump to assume that about himself and for his supporters to assume that about him, that tells you exactly where these people are. These people are sick, man. They're sick. Now, this dude, I think he felt the presence. I think he felt the aura. I think he felt the no-nonsense BS. Because when he was in front of them white folks at Jubilee, in front of, like, Destiny, he was talking about, I'm outside for Trump. I'm a Trump gangster. I'm not playing by Trump. But he was outside when 19 Keys was calling Trump these names in front of him. He ain't even have a rebuttal. it felt like 19 Keys was schooling his son. This is just sad, bruh.
On some black God
You don't
time.
like Trump. I accept it. You don't like Trump.
I'm on black God time. You understand me? Why would I need a savior? Why would I need a leader that does not represent my people? That does not represent who I am? That does not represent liberation for my folks? You understand me?
Shut
Nothing
up.
about that. I think that you exist in a space where you're able to get attention, relevance, right? Your identity finds belonging. So I can understand why you are in that space, right? But I'm a sovereign man and a sovereign human being. You understand me? And the men that I do look up to, they look like me. And they look out for me. And they have fought, struggled, died, sacrificed, and continue to live for individuals like myself. That's the difference. Strong.
Bro sat in front of that real knowledge and ain't know what to say. That man called him a grifter in front of his face. 19 Keys said, bruh, yo, you only doing this because it gets you attention and you have a sense of belonging. Like, you are a lost black man, right? You was a grifter. You was a coward. You are a sellout. 19 Keys essentially called him all of that, right? In more words than not. And at the end, he had no rebuttal, no response. His only response was, Trump. Yo, this man speaks in Uncle Ruckus babble. Straight dabba dabba do. I'm not lying. If you watch that Jubilee debate, this brother speaks in dabba dabba do. It's one of the most embarrassing Jubilee performances you've ever seen. You've ever seen. And quite frankly, I'll be real with you. I think MAGA is taking advantage of a mentally ill, obviously mentally ill, arrested development. Dude have a learning disability, obviously, right? How he behave, he comes across as autistic, right? MAGA's taking advantage of this dude. I'm glad Prophet Keys gave him that knowledge because you could tell he was kind of absorbing it, man. But he caught himself bobbing his head too much. Then at the end, he didn't have nothing but just Trump. If you guys forgot, right? Let's take a look at this Destiny debate. Watch this brother speak in dabba dabba do. But he caught himself being a political commentator. Watch the political commentary of Black MAGA. Let's see how they defend Trump. Straight dabba dabba do babble. Nothing of importance.
I'm a MAGA gangster. I'm outside when it comes to Trump. Have you ever been to a rally?
Yeah,
That's number one. I don't know if you book smart or if you're really outside, because I'm outside. I'm outside. And you basically said MAGAs thrive off of lies. First of all, you ever seen a Trump rally? You don't see all of the unity and love out there?
Nope, I see things
You don't
saying
see
like deport
unity
all the
and love.
immigrants, and I see more MAGA flags, and I see,
Alright,
and I
so
see American
you support,
flags.
alright, let me ask you this. You
Yeah.
support Black Lives Matter?
Not that much.
But Black Lives Matter only when media put it out. That's number one. Trump is bringing a lot of unity and love. You support burning and looting. That's what you support. And
That's
it
what I
tripped me
support
out
at all, but-
how you could support
Yeah.
someone that just want the world to just go crazy, burning and looting. And I heard you say something earlier that's crazy. You said you hate America. Talk about
I
that.
don't think I ever said I hate America.
Yes, you did. And
When did I say I hate
it
America?
made me look at you even
When did I
more
say I hate- oh, in
because
what
you said it
context?
earlier. You said it earlier.
I don't
Alright,
think so.
Bill.
I think I said that
We got a good place for top 10.
America. I like America. I don't think
Oh, yeah,
many
bet.
people like America.
My fault,
I don't
my
think
fault.
you guys
Let's
have
go.
any idea what it means to be American.
Saturn.
I don't think you know what
Hold
American
on.
values are. I don't
Fuck.
think you know what this country was founded or built upon. And I think you guys are obsessed with a
Damn.
cult leader who is taking the
Is it just one by
entire
himself?
Republican Party off of the cliff.
Everything he say he do. Trump is gangster.
Can you
Remember,
give me one thing you don't like about Trump?
what I don't like about him? I love everything about
I
him.
know, because it's a cult. Thank you.
It's not a
I
cult.
didn't see a ping for him.
I'm from.
cult.
No, it's not
It's
a
a
cult.
cult.
Oh, shit.
Everything is a cult if you want to think about
No
it.
shield.
This was the moment right here where Destiny just
There's one more.
engaging like this was a serious conversation. I think at first Destiny couldn't engage if this dude was just playing dumb. Once he says everything is a cult if you think about it, I just alright, but yeah, I'm done. After this, like the debate last.
She ain't got no
like,
shield.
It's alright, but yeah, but I'm not engaging with this dude.
There's two of them.
Serious political commentary, bro. This is it. Right? So this dude has been going around the internet, embarrassing himself, humiliating himself, and this 19 Keys verbal spanking is just one of many occurrences, man. Right? One of many. Even in this debate, like would tell you that
He
this
is.
is just all a grift. right? Like him knowing he's not educated on like anything.
You
He came
take
up
a
there with about
pie.
3 dialogue options. I love Trump. Trump is gonna save America. Man, why they be looting though? Why they be looting though? Man, them Democrats ain't with me. They not for me. I'm a gangster for Trump. Come on, bro. But I love when videos like this go viral because it really highlights how ridiculous some of these people are and how you really should not be wasting your time. Like y'all know it's easy to be scrolling down your feed, seeing a dude like this on some straight like just straight dabba do babble, and it's right. And it's just easy to get like frustrated and angry at a guy like this and leave a comment. Bro, like, come on, bro. You shouldn't waste your time. This dude clearly is sick in the head. Right? Dude clearly doesn't believe anything he's saying. This is a straight grift. But unlike, like a few of the other black MAGAs who they have some intelligence to them, they're able to grift the right way. Like Officer Tatum, like he's not the brightest bulb. Like he's not like super intelligent, but he has enough sense to grift the right way. This dude don't even know a thing about Trump's policy, a thing about MAGA. This man came and he said, yo, this where the bag is at, I'm riding. Man, sign me up, man. I'm a gangster for Trump. I'm outside, man.
Okay.
Everything is a cult.
To somebody in a cult, that's probably true, yeah.
Someone that's representing, and Kamala, whatever her name is, she out of here. Trump 24.
All right.
Let's go.
But let me know in the comment section, man, what do you guys think about this, man? What do y'all think about Black MAGA? We talk a lot about people like Chud and like the far right and the white supremacists, but we don't talk about like Black MAGA enough on this channel. What are y'all thoughts on Black MAGA? All right, let me know, okay? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, or here, or here, somewhere on my screen to find out why exactly Ebro just crashed out and exposed his own co-host on their show live. Click on this video right here to find out what I'm talking about. Send me a hype if you really want to support. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.
Honeycomb. Brazy may have thought he was sending a warning, but the moment Charleston White heard it, this situation went completely left.
Honeycomb Brazy. Listen, you ain't done nothing about your grandmama, bitch. So you want me to think you'll slap me. When you see me, I'm either gonna shoot. Cause you in Texas, I'm in Texas. I'm not a convicted felon, you're a convicted felon. I'm just gonna tell you like this, I'm gonna be you. And I your mama too. You heard that joke we were talking to. I hit you right in the head. You can't, I'm crazy. Well, I'm glad to know that you're crazy. So when I see you, I'm gonna shoot. You can't see me in Texas. I'm gonna be like the grandma.
Brazy made it clear that if he ever crossed paths with Charleston, things would allegedly get physical, and Charleston did not let that comment slide. Instead of brushing it off, Charleston jumped online and started calling Honeycomb's name over and over.
Honeycomb Brazy, I bet your grandmama turning over in her grave, trying to get the help. I'm sure she probably not in help yet. She probably was a delay. Yeah, they probably delayed her man from getting there. I bet your grandmama, I bet your mama and them is mad. You done got big mama and them and big dad and them killed, and you can't get no rewards for nothing. If I was your cousin, I hear you. If I was your cousin or your uncle, I hear you. You done got grandmama and got the hair blew up by the oxygen tank machine. Now you done got grandmama and you out here doing this stupid and can't make no money. Got the said you would. I don't want to see no boxing match. I want you to shoot up there and stroke like you said you were gonna do.
Almost like he was daring him to stand behind every word. He reminded Brazy that they both live in Texas, then pointed out that Brazy's past legal trouble could put him in a worse position if this beef ever moved beyond the internet. But Charleston did not stop with Honeycomb. He also brought Brazy's mother into the situation, claiming she had been speaking about him online for a long time.
Go to jail for that, but that's Honeycomb, we know that. So I expect the word to know me, like, if I see Charlie, I'm gonna slap his head out type shit. The word supposed to know, this is when the word supposed to know, like, they don't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, if Brazy ever see Charlie the White, his head is slapped way over that way. That's some shit the word supposed to know, bro. Like, it's me, this Brazy. This the rapper ever. What the you think I'm at? Brazy, I'm the rapper ever. The love, freedom, bro, I love real. I don't just like, when they get real, boy, freedom, everything. Long as you get the boy, I go do life behind my grandma. That's what they don't know about me. Like, I ain't trying to be nigga too long. I just want me 18 months and then I shake that hoe. I shake that boy 2 years. I turn the rock game upside down, man. I am 50 Cent. I am the rapper, but I've been through this. I'm the one ain't never read it, never told, never did no suck or nothing. Everybody got a stain on their name in the game. You hear me? Young Thug said Roscoe the school bus up. Everybody said something. Lucius shaking that big. Everybody got a stain on their name. I ain't got a stain. I'm really the whole thing, you feel me? Like, and they don't respect real. They just go forward. I always feel like you too real for us, Brazy. And I understand I'm too real for y'all. That's why I got out their way. And I'm just doing my own thing. Like, they I'm on my praise and shit. I don't see none of these niggas play with me, Vlad. You gonna hear about it, you gonna be posting me. Like, they in the corner, really rock their head to sleep. You know what I'm saying? You gonna be posting. I know you gonna post me.
That instantly made the whole exchange feel more personal, because now this was no longer just two loud personalities trading shots from separate videos. And this is where the story gets messy. Honeycomb's original threat may have started the fire, but Charleston's response pushed the argument into dangerous territory, mixing family, old pain, and street reputation into one heated confrontation that suddenly had everybody watching. The tension took off when Honeycomb Brazy spoke, like seeing Charleston White in person would turn physical.
Oh, did he? And I want to tell Honeycomb Brazy, who done stabbed 100. I don't believe it. I caught and who done stabbed 100 online playing friendly with rapping a real street. Gonna make a rap song about me, talking bad about me, and soon as they get a phone call, all of a sudden that to be a man. Yeah, I'm sick of you rapping. I'm sick of you rapping. I'm sick of you rapping. Yeah, Honeycomb Brazy. Well, you done lost so many points with me. I thought you would be a real. Come on, baby. I thought you would be a real. Yeah. I'm telling you, all of them coming up out that J.I. He ain't made one video yet, man. Them niggas just want to be accepted. They want to be a part of something. They ain't got no talent. Couldn't even get a job, OG. Go to jail. They got all types of services through probation and parole that require you to work. I don't require them to work. I ain't your parole officer. I look like helping you get a job, but steal from whoever you're living with. Start that. Yeah, start that. Whoever you're living with, steal that. Purse to Icebox. Yeah, like the old dope fiends used to do. You steal the VCR. Steal at a time, but don't clean out the house. Steal a little bit at a time. But the niggas used to know dope. Yeah, made that video.
You know the fuck he wasn't, bitch. Shut the fuck up.
Blueface that went from.
Oh.
He went from new
Bitch, who you talking to?
with something to talk about his new.
I'm gonna smack the fuck out your stupid ass. Pull your fucking IP and kill you in broad daylight, nigga.
Y'all heard what Blueface said? I want to say his new
Fuck up, nigga.
look like Tiny Boy.
Wash your face, boy. You serious? You think your woman look like that, boy? And you still pushing them off in her? You know what was strange to me? The adjectives that you use to describe Tips boy. You see, it's yellow, soft-spoken. That sound like the conversation they had when you showed up in prison. You was yellow. You speak soft and kind of sweet like voice and not deep. Keep your hair pulled back, you know, kind of fun type. Our style. I wonder that how you got all them tattoos on your face. See, now looking at you with that eye. I'm going to cheat. And they want to screw your face up. Because they want to they try not even fight you. You can't fight everybody. Man, we can't have it walking around like you hear that young and cute, handsome looking. Man, we ain't gonna paint on his face to him. Make it a billboard for the game. We ain't gonna. I said, I'm not listening to you talk about that boy. I said, sound like he wanna true that what that boy put him in jail, look like his woman. He picked out all of them. Similar traits and characteristics about the boy's physical description. It was on point. But when I look at Blueface woman.
During the interview, Brazy said, if I see Charleston White, his head is getting slapped way over that way, making sure everybody understood he was not joking. Brazy then leaned into his reputation, saying, people already know what kind of timing he is on. He painted himself as somebody who values being real more than staying comfortable, even suggesting he would risk his freedom if things became serious. That was the part Charleston focused on. To him, Brazy was not simply talking tough for entertainment. He was publicly describing what he claimed he would do, and Charleston saw the statement as a challenge. Charleston then pushed the situation into personal territory by bringing Honeycomb Brazy's mother and grandmother into the argument.
I want to see you go to jail for where you rap. Tell me you. I'm starting to think you really slow, like Finesse said you would. I'm starting to think the boy really slow. Yeah, with a mild case of mental. It ain't bad to be mentally. You just can't function in the regular classroom. But if you go over there with the kids, you normal. You trying to play with the normal kids, honey. What's wrong with you, what? Finesse can play with her, but he normal. You ain't normal.
To sleep.
Yeah, no, I want to see you do somebody. I want to see you do somebody. Brazy just talking, and his emotion. That boy. Bipolar, schizophrenic, post-traumatic stress disorder kind of. But I'm not enthused about no rappers fighting in boxing gloves that we won't be able to see. We don't want to make no money. Get in that ring where we can make some money doing it, but don't want to get embarrassed. You rap, you don't want to get embarrassed. King Von got good for trying to fight. No, he didn't. We're not talking about fighting. We talking about boxing. You talk tough. You talk tough. Put them gloves on. You see, it's a video of me putting them gloves on. You talk that talk like you can do this, I'll do this, but ain't none of you got no video you put no gloves on. Ain't none of you in no ring boxing with them. So, man, I don't want to hear that about no Honeycomb Brazy. Fuck them slobs. Fuck the Bloods. Sauce Walker them Bloods, Honeycomb Brazy them Bloods. Any came in blood is a slob. Fuck the Bloods. Y'all dead homies. Every blood that never died, I piss on their tombstone in their grave and shit in their mama head. Them blood, a black blood ain't nothing but a coward. Deep grown and gained nothing blood. Man, you better look up. You ain't no real blood. None of you did. Ain't no real blood. You got to have protection when you go to California and ask them to walk you up the street. You can't blood. Cause blood. Island blood at this age in life as a black man is a red fool. Man, but Bloods ain't done nothing for nobody. Bloods ain't went to war with the Mexicans. Them Bloods in Houston be on the Mexicans. The Mexicans in California scared of the Bloods. So don't blood me, nigga. I done bought on blood. My mama and the Bloods didn't do nothing. Your grandmama house and blew it up with an oxygen tank. Fool. Where was the Bloods, blood? I bet your grandmama ain't even got a tombstone, blood. But ain't nobody even been out there to put no flowers on the bed. Blood? So I don't tell them about no blood, no grandmama done got and your dad didn't get no revenge. I don't want to hear that. You done went to Houston. Now you up under J. Prince Jr. Nut. Now I don't want to hear that. Sue Whoop Slob, BK all day. BK all day. Pussies in red uniforms is what I call them. Pussies in red uniform. I done walked on both coasts. And it ain't a blood in the state of Texas. Bad enough to mention my name in disrespect. I shut the whole gang down, I swear to God. Them scared of me. The Bloods and Crips in Texas scared of me. So tell South Walker, fuck the Bloods. Tell that honeycomb Brady, fuck the Bloods. And fuck they dead homies. If them ain't getting in the ring boxing, we don't want to hear about no fight and hide and fight.
You can pick up your car at your hotel. You can pick up your car in short-term parking. You can even pick up your car.
You niggas go punching like girls? I got a boxing team I want to put together. I want Dallas versus Houston, Houston versus Miami. Let's put these boxing gloves on and you get in the ring and make money. You don't want to make no money, man. You didn't want to post money. Sure. Now, we can make a lot of money fighting, y'all. I made over 6 figures. Last summer, I made over 6 figures for 4 minutes fighting. I made 6 figures for 4 minutes fighting. It's easy money. I don't think Honeycomb Brady touched 6 figures yet. I did that in 4 minutes. I got $50,000 up front before I even start training. So what are you talking about boxing and fighting for? And we can get a bag. We can get a bag if you're really serious. I can call Tito right now. Tito got the sponsorship money. So what is you doing going in the backyard of a boxing glove fight and we can get sponsorship money and bags? I think y'all scared to fight publicly.
Brazy's mother had reportedly been speaking about Charleston online, so he made it clear that he was responding to both of them, not just Honeycomb. But instead of keeping the focus on the original threat, Charleston started mocking Brazy's family pain and questioning why old tragedies had never been answered. He even made an alarming comment suggesting Brazy's relatives should blame him for what happened. That changed the whole tone of the beef. What began as a threat about a slap suddenly turned into a vicious attack involving family loss, blame, and wounds that ran deeper than social media trash talk. Honeycomb Brazy did not back away after Charleston's response. Instead, he doubled down and made everything sound even more serious. During his Vlad TV appearance, Brazy claimed he was built differently and said he would risk his freedom if somebody crossed that line. He leaned heavily on his past, insisting he had never cooperated, never folded, and never put a stain on his name. At one point, he even declared, "I am 50 Cent," comparing his survival story and reputation to one of rap's biggest names. But those comments gave Charleston even more material. The more Brazy talked about risking everything, the easier it became for Charleston to paint him as reckless. What started as tough talk was now sounding like a public warning with real consequences attached. Charleston was not impressed by any of that talk. He started questioning Honeycomb Brazy's entire image, saying somebody with such a dangerous reputation should not need to keep proving it through interviews and online threats. He also mocked Brazy for wanting acceptance from the rap world, claiming the tough talk was covering up frustration about his career. In Charleston's eyes, Brazy was doing too much talking and not enough building, which is why he kept attacking the gap between the street image and the results. That was the angle Charleston kept pressing. He was basically saying reputation alone does not mean anything if every move ends with more drama, more legal trouble, and no real progress. Instead of fearing Brazy's words, Charleston treated them like proof that he had gotten under his skin. Then Charleston flipped the whole argument and challenged Honeycomb Brazy to handle it in a boxing ring instead. He said he was not interested in hidden fights, backyard drama, or anybody risking jail just to prove a point. Charleston claimed the smarter move would be putting on gloves, bringing in sponsors, and turning the beef into a real payday. He even bragged about making 6 figures from a short fight, saying there was serious money available if Brazy was really willing to stand on business. That challenge changed the conversation. Instead of arguing over who was tougher online, Charleston made it about who would show up publicly, follow the rules, and get paid. Now the pressure was back on Honeycomb, because accepting meant proving himself in front of everybody. Charleston kept pushing one message. Crashing out would only bring Honeycomb more problems, while a sanctioned fight could put money in everybody's pocket. He argued that threats, arrests, and hidden confrontations might protect a street image, but they do nothing for Brazy's career. Then Charleston started talking numbers. He claimed he received $50,000 before training began and made more than 6 figures for only a few minutes in the ring. Whether people believe every detail or not, his point was clear. Stop risking freedom and start talking business. That put Honeycomb in a tricky position. If he ignored the challenge, Charleston could say he was only loud online. But if he accepted, the beef would move into a public event where neither man could hide behind interviews. At this point, the biggest question is not who can talk tougher. It is who is willing to deal with the consequences. Honeycomb already has a public record, and Charleston reminded everybody that one reckless move could bring law enforcement into the situation. Charleston also knows how to use attention to his advantage. Every response, interview clip, and challenge keeps the story moving while putting more pressure on Honeycomb to answer. But the louder this gets, the harder it becomes for either side to quietly walk it back. That is what makes this situation risky. Honeycomb can ignore Charleston and protect his freedom, or respond and feed the controversy even more. Either way, the internet is watching to see whether this stays content or turns into something neither side can control. So that is where things stand between Charleston White and Honeycomb Brazy, and this situation could still get ugly. Charleston turned Brazy's threat into a public boxing challenge while making it clear he would involve authorities if anything happened outside the ring. Do you think Honeycomb is willing to risk his freedom, or was he simply talking tough for the cameras? And should Charleston accept a real fight, or has this beef already gone too far? Drop your opinion in the comments, hit the like button, subscribe to Drip Zine, and press that hype button. It costs nothing, but it helps this video reach more people.
$3,000 a month definitely feels like it is outlandish.
Seems like it's getting scarier and scarier for a lot of us. Do you feel like you're getting the value for the amount you pay in?
Absolutely not. No.
They're really taking advantage of people out here. Absolutely.
Everyone check out.
Hey guys, it's Abby from Pad Split. Today we're going around Denver to ask people how much they pay in rent. Let's go. How much do you pay in rent?
35. I'm paying 35 for a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. So definitely feels like it is outlandish. You know, I live in a Covenant neighborhood. There's supposed to be a few amenities. With that being said, I see none of those.
Wow.
That's the HOA. So it's like, we should also talk to them. We're paying the HOA dues as well.
So is it fair to assume that you're not getting the value you pay for with the amount you're paying in rent?
I would say no. Yeah, I'll say that's anywhere, you know what I mean?
Right. You know, of course, being Colorado natives, the 3 of us here, we've seen the spike in cost. So for the same house 4 years ago, we would have probably been paying $2,200.
How do you guys feel about the cost of living in general? Have you ever been stressed about paying rent, and how did that make you feel?
Well, of course, we're all stressed paying rent, right? Especially the guys. I got 3 kids at home too, so we can bring into that as well. So of course, every single week, it's definitely a concern.
Well, you can check out Pad Split.
Yes, absolutely. Everyone check out Pad Split.
Yeah. How much do you pay in rent per month?
I pay $1,500 a month.
Do you feel that's fair for what you're getting at your apartment complex, or do you wish it were a little bit less?
I absolutely wish it were a little bit less and believe it should be. I do believe it's a little bit much for a 1-bedroom apartment.
They're really taking advantage of people out here.
Absolutely. Yes, they really are, and it's just making it harder for anybody to survive. So yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
It seems like it's getting scarier and scarier for a lot of us because, I mean, it could be any of us
us that end up on the streets with how prices are going up. So I really love this program here. This is really cool.
How much do you pay for rent, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, I pay $14.45 a month.
Do you feel like you're getting the value for the amount you pay in rent?
Absolutely not. No. You know that. That's why you're interviewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I told you that you could pay as little as $800 a month, would you consider a shared living home?
Depends on what the house looks like. So I guess then, yeah, I would consider it.
Have you ever struggled to pay rent payments? And what did that feel like if you experienced that?
Yeah, I'm a traffic control supervisor by trade, and it's like seasonal work. So if it's snowy or windy or rainy, we'll get canceled if we're laying down asphalt, concrete, water line. It does get kind of hard to have that amount of rent and gas, groceries, and everything within whatnots. And I mean, yeah, obviously, for sure.
Do you ever feel stressed about paying for rent?
Oh, definitely yes. Yeah, because you have to grind, work really hard.
Yes, oh my god. Yeah, I agree with that.
How much do you pay in rent?
I'm paying $1,600.
$1,600?
Like overall for us is like $2,000.
If you only had to pay $800 a month in rent, what would you spend the extra money on that you're saving?
Maybe some precious gold. So like gold for investments.
What would you spend the money you save on?
Me, first, I'm gonna save money and maybe I'll go visit Philippines because it's expensive, going like vacation in other countries. I prefer maybe go vacations.
How much do you pay for rent?
I split a 3-bedroom and it's about $3,000 a month.
Per person or total?
Total is $3,000. So per person it's $1,000 a month.
Do you feel like you're getting what you pay for with your rent?
I mean, it's nice. It's like a newer apartment, but I still think $3,000 for a 3-bedroom is pretty pricey considering like the square footage is pretty small.
Have you ever felt cost burdened by rent?
Yeah, I mean, it's my biggest bill every month, so I mean, if I didn't have to worry about that, I'd have a lot of money spent.
Obviously, if you didn't have to worry about your rent, what would you spend that money on? Do you have any like financial goals you would want to meet?
I don't know, I'd probably just save a lot more, maybe get a new car. I don't know, eventually I want to start like my own business so I could help save for that.
How do you feel about the cost of living in general in terms of living expenses with rent, utilities, everything in Colorado?
For Colorado, I guess it's more expensive than like living in a rural area where there's like not much to do or see, but I think overall, like in our country, it's pretty expensive. Like rent, groceries, it's all just up there, so.
Do you have anything else to add about affordability or rentals? Any advice for people that are struggling with their rent payments?
I don't know, honestly. Just gotta do something, I don't know. Our government's gotta do something.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, especially trying to like buy a house. It just seems impossible. I think it's a pipe dream for most people.
I agree. A lot of people that live in Padswitz are living there with the goal of home ownership. So it's definitely an option if you're ever trying to buy a home.
It would definitely help save up for a house.
How much do you pay for rent in Colorado?
I pay $1,300 and I have a roommate.
You pay $1,300 each?
Yes.
Have you ever been stressed out about paying your rent, or is that something that's a stressor for you often?
Yeah, it's stressful, but it is what it is. I have to live, so.
Are you a student? That's super cool. So you're trying to like cut costs with living sometimes?
Definitely, yeah. So, looking for the cheapest option most of the time.
You could save $300 or so on rent every month. What would you put that money towards? Do you have any financial goals you'd want to achieve?
Probably take out less loans.
What do you think about the cost of living across the U.S. in general, or in Colorado specifically?
I think it's high. I lived in California before, so it's a little bit better, but it's definitely still super high. It'd be nice if it was lower, but it's not my job.
It's time to break up with your landlord, at least. Go to Padswood.com to join the thousands of people who are already renting smarter.
Get the care you deserve. Aesthetic patients have more options than ever before. ASPS member surgeons want to support your journey by helping you make informed decisions. Download our free ebook to guide your aesthetic journey.
Today I'm going on a lunch date with a white man. First time ever going on a lunch date. First time ever going on a date, period, with a white man. I feel like I'm climbing up the ladder here. Yeah. intelligent man. Not saying they're not in the black community, but none of them is coming my way. So I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous because I'm not sure how it's gonna go. I hope it goes well. But yeah, so let me just do my facial thingy. Why did I put the toner on before the glycolic acid? Can I redo it? Anyways, yeah, so I have not had any form of luck, whatever, with black men. So I'm just going to try a different route. There's nothing wrong with trying a different route, correct? A chance just to see, and then I can compare and I can critique and I can do this, that, and third. But I feel like it's only fair for me to just explore all my options.
A few moments later.
Let me tell you something that I realized. Men play chasing games. Sometimes they don't even realize that they're playing this game because their brain is wired to just be stupid. Some men don't chase because they want love. They chase because they want validation. You see, the moment that they feel chosen, desired, or secure, they pull back automatically. You see, for emotionally immature men, the chase is not about connection. It's about control. Chasing makes them feel powerful. Consistency makes them feel insecure or exposed. And that is why I strongly believe that they are amazing in the beginning. They can be great on birthday trips or surprises or for the first 2 months. A man cannot be consistent for 3 months straight. They are absolutely terrible at everyday communication. Consistency is not their friend. So if you're confused, exhausted, or questioning your worth like I once used to do, it's not about your worth really. It's not a case where you are not enough. It's because you're dealing with someone that loves to play game and only knows how to show up in moments and not over time. Consistency and them don't get along. And healthy love does not feel like a game. And if you have to keep chasing for clarity, that's your answer, right?
Salute. So, your big bros stay telling you that this is everywhere. This is everywhere. It's not just over here. It's across seas. It's in Europe, Africa. It's all over the 7 continents. Wherever you find a Keisha, you're going to find a Brad worshiping mentality. You're going to find that mentality. This is a Jamaican Keisha, right? This Jamaican, right? And one thing you need to notice, right, is how happy she was. And let me show you. Look how happy she was. The jazz hands. Look. Look how happy she was to announce that she's about to date a Brad. Look how energetic. That's probably why you didn't get the men. When she was dating black men. That's probably why black men weren't attracted to you. That's why they weren't attracted to you. See, black men are attracted to looks, but it's also your attitude. You probably wasn't this happy around when it came to dating them. You probably put no effort in it. You probably didn't talk nice about them either. Look how you're talking about them now. And whoever you are is whatever you attract. So if you attract bums or people who is not intelligent, that's what you attract, because most likely you're probably not intelligent. That's what you attract. That's what you attract. A dunce attracts another dunce. So, when you look at her and you look at, what she was saying in the first video, the second video, because this video was last year. This video was last year. the ending of last year. The video, the second video that you saw was one of her most recent videos. And what did she say in that video? She said that when you put a man, basically when you put him on a pedestal, they start to switch up, they start to change up. Who was she talking about? When he's the one chosen, when he's a chosen one, that's what she was saying. The guy that she put on the pedestal, which is the Brad, look at the video, which is the Brad, they start realizing that they are not really into a relationship because they understand that they don't need to be in a full-blown relationship to get you. They don't need to commit to you. They don't need to do anything to you. Anything for you. They don't need to do anything for you. And that's what she got. You notice she put on put her accent on. She was trying to ditch the accent in this video, but you notice in that second video, she put her accent on very thick, right? You know what that means? It's time to go back to Jamaican men. Hold on, let me show y'all let's go back to that video. Let's go back to that video. I know what I'm talking about. Let's go back to that video. Let's unpack some things in this video. I want y'all to see men like to play chasing games. Automatically, that shows you what's going on here. Remember, that video that she put out, right, months ago, when she was talking about black men, she put black men in the title. When she was talking negative about black men, she put black men in the title. She's talking about Brad right now, but she's not going to put white men in the title because she's still trying to protect his image while conveying a message. So we know that she's talking about Brad in this video because if it was black men, she would have put there. She has no problem putting black men in the title at all. So off the back, you know she's talking about Brad. You notice. Now let's go back through what she was saying.
Let me tell you something that I realized. Men play chasing games. Sometimes they don't even realize that they're playing this game because their brain is wired to just be stupid. Some men don't chase because they want love. They chase because they want validation. You see, the moment that they feel chosen.
Now look how she's putting on the accent thicker now. Now everything's all irie. Chosen validation. Oh, she's putting the accent on. What happened to the fake Valley Girl voice? And who she's talking about? As soon as they feel like they're chosen or desirable, she's talking about Brad. You know why? Because it went nowhere. That date went nowhere. Those dates with the Brad went nowhere. He took you on a smash session and then gave you the boot.
Rave reviews from real Rover users. Our fur family had the best care while we were away. Wonderful sitter. She treated our cat like her own. Best boarding and care in the area. For loving pet care in your neighborhood, book with Rover today.
What I really appreciate about the Google Career Certificate is you're not just sticking your nose in a book, you're learning the day-to-day work of a security analyst. There's no previous experience required, which is pretty amazing when you think about how technical the cybersecurity field is. It really give you the foundational skills that help you get a job in this industry and that can help you achieve really exciting things in this field. So what are you waiting for? Check out Google Career Certificates. Enroll today.
Gave you the boot. Didn't even give you any car fare. Didn't call you an Uber. He just opened the door for you. And now you up here talking about, men like to play chasing games. You mean they're not chasing after you? They're not returning your call? so sick of these dudes talking about, oh, you know, it's not like that in the Caribbean. It's not like that over here. It's not like that in Jamaica. It's not like that in Africa. It's not like that in Brazil. It's not like that in the UK. Who you talking to, dude? Every time I go online, every time, no matter where they from, they talk negative about black men in their search for brag. In their search for brag. Oh, let's look at it.
Some men don't chase because they want love. They chase because they want validation. You see, the moment that they feel chosen, desired, or secure, they pull back automatically. You see, for emotional
Fucking God.
men, the chase is not about connection.
No. They didn't pull back. They told you to get out the
Stupid fucking Watson.
You got kicked out the whip.
This thing's a fucking retard.
You got kicked out the whip. Black men, I need you to understand, they started this.
Dumb bitch.
They started this. All this bashing black men to be with Brad, they started it. I need y'all to know that they started it. You know, if you were messing with Becky, there was a good chance that you end up getting sent to the upper room. There was a good chance that you put your family in jeopardy. That's why black men didn't do it. They did not do it. They were looking at their family and they understood that talking to them or even looking at them could cause problems. That's why they didn't do it. You literally was putting your life on the line by even looking at them or talking to them or anything like that. They didn't do it. Was it the same for Keisha? No. They were out there dating them and not dating them. There was no dates. Let me take that. There was no dates. They were taking them to a hole in the walls. They was taking them to these hole in the wall hotels, hole in the wall late night spots, and taking them on tizzy tours in the back of these late night spots. And then they go home to their wife. And then what did these Keishas do? Go home where? To their husbands? Yeah. You know what the black man was doing? He was out working. Working hard. 12 hours, 14 hours. So a lot of times he wasn't at home. You know what these Keishas were doing? They would drop the kids off to their friend's house and then go out there and get taken on tizzy tours by these Brads in these hole-in-the-wall establishments. And then the Keisha that was washing her kids, the next day would be her turn. This was what's going on. This is what was going on back then. Don't talk to me about brand worship because I know what I'm talking about. Don't talk to me about Keisha. I know the history behind that. I know the history of what was going on back then. Keisha, there was no pushback. The only pushback she probably is getting confronted by the Beckys that the Beckys or the Brads that was taking them on tizzy tours. Yeah, that's it. They get told stay away from the husband, this and that. There was no real consequences for Keisha getting taken on a tizzy tour by these Brads. There was no real consequences. And I mean severe consequences.
Want to create an online store but not sure what to do next? Skip the complex setup process and get straight to business with managed WooCommerce hosting from Hostinger. It's e-commerce hosting, but search-friendly content and bespoke product descriptions written by our AI content creator. Increase sales and turn visitors into customers thanks to lightning-quick page loading speeds. Plus, there's plenty of reliability. One product, hundreds or thousands. With a 99.9% uptime guarantee, you can relax knowing your store will be serving customers for you 24 hours a day. And it will be protected by the latest security tools, automatic backups, and updates. Try it in complete confidence with our 30-day money-back guarantee. And if you ever need help, our expert support is available 24/7. Trusted by millions of website owners worldwide. Go to hostinger.com/e-commerce to get started. Hostinger. 3, 2, online.
But there was severe consequences for black men dealing with Becky's. That's why it did not happen. So who started this? They did. They started. And now you're seeing what was going on. Now you're getting a clear glimpse of what was going on these plantations. You were told on these plantations that it was you and her together. You, her, and when I mean you, I'm talking about black men in particular. You and her in the struggle together. Now you're seeing, whoa, wait a minute. If their mentality is like this in 2026, what was their mentality like in 1846, 1856? If they are Brad worshipers without any restraints, there's no plantations, there's no bondage. And when I mean bondage, I'm talking about chattel bondage. There's none of that, and they still Brad worshipers. They still looking up to Brad. They still praising Brad without that. So imagine what it was like with that. That wasn't black men. That was not black men. Black men had a rebel spirit. They had a rebel spirit. They always looked at them and knew. Yeah, as soon as you slack on, paying attention to me, as soon as I get a little leeway, or we up out of here, or we're overthrowing this plantation, and we don't care what happens to us. We don't care if we end up getting sent to the upper room. We're just not dealing with this anymore. They always had a rebellious spirit when it came to being on a plantation. That's why they had to get them agents. That's why they had to have overseers for us. Oh, you gotta watch them. You gotta watch them. They didn't have overseers for Keishas. They had overseers for us. You have to watch them. You have to pay attention to them. They always quiet. They didn't have to do that for them. You're starting to see that now. They never wanted to leave. And Jamaica, the plantations in Jamaica, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of it's disturbing history on over here in the States and over there. But look at the history of Jamaica and the plantations. I talked about Jamaica one time, right? I talked about what was going over there on the plantations on a video that I did a long time ago. A long time ago. I talked about the practices. I talked about, a lot of history. And one of the things that I was talking about when it came to the punishment, the punishment that they used to inflict in a lot of these plantations. And in Jamaica, there was a punishment called the Derby Dose. I want y'all to look that up. I want you to look up Derby Dose. It was a horrific form of torture that was used in Jamaica in the 18th century. I want you to look it up. When you know about the history of, these plantations and what was going on, it's like the Brad worship. You know what, man? Let me just end this video here, man. But I think I'm gonna start getting back to the videos about the practices that they were doing, what type of forms of mental manipulation they were doing. I used to do a lot of videos like that back in the early days on this channel. But anyway, salute the black men. Peace. Stay Keisha free.
So I took a seat with him and the conversation just went crazy. I sat there for like an hour and a half and we talked about life, we talked about my future, we talked about his future, we talked about marriage. We talked. But
Oh, nah. Are you kidding me? Nah. You're gonna have to shoot me to fade. You're gonna have to shoot me my fade. Run me my fade. All you black males that was in the comment section when I made that video, like I said, I made a video on her before, and y'all was telling me she's one of the good ones. Run me my fade. Yeah, you better let me win. Y'all was out here putting the cape on for Big Backy and Dave. Fridge McDougal. Y'all was really out here putting the cape on for Fridge McDougal. Run me my fade, man. Run me I want my fade. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Fucking God.
Because when we talk about being, so I want to talk about your comment. Because when we talk about being in your early 20s, and people love to say that I get on here and try to act like I'm perfect and I pass judgment and I do X, Y, Z. When I was in my early 20s, I was absolutely awful. Terrible. I said this before, I wouldn't even be friends with that girl. Right? She was all over the place.
For you, that's where I go. For you,
You told me I'm cool. Like, I'm cool.
you cool, man. You cool people, man. I don't persuade women to. Man, you know what? I have met so many women that be on that abstinent journey, all that. It be sounding good. So I'm not here to try. One thing I don't do is try to persuade women to go away from their belief. I don't do that. Like, I think back, you just gonna keep me on my line and shit, man.
What are you talking about?
That's what I'm saying. I'm curious though. You just play on the fence. Like, you play on the fence. Like, you just like, I see. No, backtrack now. You made one post. Second post, you said, hey, look, handsome privilege. You basically said, like, hey, I like to see attract them in, and I see him, I dip in there, I poke at him a little bit, I go about my business. You gonna keep poking, then you gonna get poked back.
And then sit on live with Bernard while he basically telling you, like, you keep poking at me, don't poke me unless you want to get poked. And, you cool, you on your celibacy journey or whatever, but stop poking me. Basically, in layman's term, if you ain't trying to, what you want. Basically, I'm really not trying to get to know you. I'm not really trying to date you or nothing like that. But if you want to bump, then, holla at me. What are we always waiting
all this about. But, you know, sitting there cheesing just because he got some muscles. I mean, if that would have been that other dude, that bald head dude that work in that warehouse that ain't been promoted in years, you would have tore him a new one. And it was just on live, you know. I don't know where these two people live at, if they live in the same city and state or whatever.
Kingshot combines strategy, exploration, resource management, PvP and PvE battles, plus a whole lot more. I suggest you give it a try. If you think you have a shot at becoming a king, that is.
If you're gonna be in your emotions and be biased, exit my video now. Multiple things can be true in this case, and it is. First thing being, Sonya Massey did not deserve to lose her life. I'm gonna say that again. She did not deserve to lose her life. It is also true that she did throw a pot of boiling hot water at a police officer. That is true.
And that is a bitch ass lie. Look, it's always a simp. It's always a simp. Look at this. Nah, we know why they really on Dana head, and it has zero to do with Sonya Massey. She slipped, made a bad move, and they used to attack her because she's been holding their black A's accountable. Listen. Listen, dude. You can't start off by saying, nah, we know why they really on Dana head, and then in your next breath say she slipped and made a bad move. No, she made a bad move. She made a bad move. She's spreading information that is wrong. So you can't just go over the bad move she made to justify why you think they're coming after her. You have to look at the bad move and who she's holding accountable. I don't understand who she's holding accountable. If you can't hold yourself accountable, how can you hold anybody else accountable? I'm gonna say this again. If you can't hold yourself accountable for making a error in judgment on what it is that you're talking about, how can you hold anybody accountable?
My fucking God, gang.
Somebody said at the bottom, no, Sonya Massey was someone's family. It has everything to do with Dana Dane pushing a wrong narrative that could possibly justify the reason why this woman lost her life. Now, here's the thing. Whether you look at that situation, you have your own idea of what happened. You have your own idea of what should have happened. You have your own idea on why it happened. That's you. You have every right to have your opinion on the matter. Just don't lie about it. Don't make up stuff that didn't happen. That's what this simp don't understand. That's what this simp, S. Carter, who are you? Who are you? Jay-Z? Just because you want to protect her from being wrong, right, doesn't change the fact that she was wrong. Doesn't change the fact. You can't just come out of nowhere and just make a statement that wasn't true and then expect us to follow. That's called delusional. That's called delusional. We saw the video. That didn't happen. You know, when I first made that video about her a couple of years ago, right, I didn't know much about her. I still don't. I don't know much about her, right? She was talking about how your past don't matter, you know. And the reason why she was saying that, because you saw what she said about her past. She was getting ran through in her past. She was getting ran through in her 20s. You know how we know? We know this. We know, first of all, she's a big backy. She was a big backy. Big backians, that's why I say, you know, when you look at guys that check for big backians, they usually poor, they usually don't have anything going on, because with a big backian, they're definitely on the same level. Her poor and broke. A guy that's poor and broke and a big back end, they go hand in hand because her body is poverty and his pockets is poverty. The same value, same level. So any guy dealing with big back ends is because, first of all, they anybody who deals with them tell you that they're easy to smash. Low self-esteem. They don't know when the next time they might get taken on a tizzy tour.
No, but I'm gathering resources.
Useless waste.
Hop on!
We're breaking up.
Fine, you'll see!
At the start of the game, you can choose any shelter you want. But once you pick a spot, there's no turning back. It's upgrade or die. Defense, stealth, resources. Miss one.
Nobody is ever talking to them or trying to holler at them or trying to do anything with them. So the first time or first few times a dude say anything to them, they jumping on it. Because as a big back end, you don't get no play. You usually don't get any play. It's the same as a broke guy. A broke guy with no prospects, he gets no play. That's why I say they on the same level. The difference is the guy, he can actually get his life together. He can get a job. He can get a career, get a trade, get his bread up, and get up out of there. Big back ends, they tend to stay big backs. So she was getting taken on tizzy tours left and right. Probably don't even remember the faces. They probably just blurs. But just like big back ends, the behavior, it doesn't change. The behavior doesn't change. That guy, I don't know who B Nard is. That who this B Nard guy is. I've seen a couple of videos on it, but she's been chasing after this guy. You saw him in the video, right? She's been chasing after this guy, and this guy is just telling her, listen, if you looking to smash, stop trying to talk to me looking for a relationship. Stop talking to me about you being abstinent. Stop talking to me about you being selfish. I'm just trying to smash. So stop poking me. That's what he was basically saying. He was basically saying stop playing the fence when it comes to me because it's only one way with me. You think it's one way, but it's the other. She's looking for a relationship with this guy. This guy is just looking to smash. This is what you get. You're old. And you're a big back end, which means that all it takes is for her to eat a couple of pound cakes, twice in a week. All it takes is a couple of stops at Mickey D's, and she's right back there because she done created those cells in her body. It's easy for her to blow up again. It's easy. That's why you don't deal with big backs, because they go right back to it. It only takes a couple of years, sometimes even just a few months, but all it takes is a couple of years because they'll get right back into those habits and they blow right back up. And they created those cells for them to blow back up like that. So all it takes is a couple of sodas, a couple of cheeseburgers, saturated fats, and she's back there again. Not to mention the damage she already did to her body. That's another thing that people don't talk about is when you're that big, you did a lot of extensive damage to your body. You did a lot of extensive damage to your body that they don't talk about. It's just like when an alcoholic, stopped drinking, when somebody who's addicted to drugs, pills, when they stopped doing drugs, they did so much damage to their body. That sugar and salt did so much damage to your body when you're that big to the point where you will have those effects don't know when, but they will pop up. That's how it works. That's how it works. And it damages your, you know, your frame, the frame of your body, you know, your skin. It damages all that. But she's still checking for dudes that ain't checking for her. That ain't changed, right? And they just looking to take on the Tizzy tour. She's still out here lying. She's a liar. And on top of that, she is the same Keisha that she talks about. And y'all fell for this? Y'all fell for this? She talk and the way she talks like she's straight out of the South, 1812. She's talking. Y'all fell for this?
I need to expand, but I'm broke. Hold on. I gotta make some
The fuck out of here, gang.
Need that cash bad. Boom. Finally, I've got enough funds to expand this place. Let's go big. Hurry. Chop chop. We're out of meat. Oh no, a bear pack. They're swarming. I'm dying. That was way too close.
And do you know why she have the angle? It's the same angle. When you look at the video she do, it's the same angle.
Teammates fucking suck.
Same angle. You know why that angle is like that? You know why that angle is like that? Because when she's doing those videos, she's not in those body shapers.
Get the fuck out of there.
She's not in those body shapers. You see, when you get that big, right? When you see a lot of them lose weight, there's a lot of loose skin, right? A lot of loose skin. So what they do is they lost the weight, but they have these body shapers that they wear to make it seem
Bro, just
like,
get back.
you know, so the loose skin doesn't show.
Now you want to turn up, you dumb bitch.
Their shape is, you know, to make it give them an appearance of a shape that they really don't have. That's why they call body shapers. They shape your body to the shape that they want people to, you know. It's an illusion. It's really an illusion, because once they take it out, y'all see it. Salute to the brothers in the Patreon. Y'all see it. They tuck in their stomachs. They're tucking 30 pounds of skin away. Arms look like flying chipmunks. Look at that. But y'all should be ashamed of yourself, man. No, I'm serious, man. I want my fade with y'all. Y'all really was out here caping for this. I want my fade, and you better let me win. Testing. Can y'all hear me? Salute. First of all, salute to the brothers. Good morning. Rise and shine.
We found the best sitter through Rover. Cat loved it so much he didn't want to come home. Skipper
The New York Times dropped an expose on Andrew Tate earlier this morning, and these allegations are absolutely horrifying. It's really, really, really bad. Now, come to find out, though, the one thing we did learn from this expose is his criminal charges have not completely gone away. So we know that the Romanian court, that the prosecutors brought a case to get him charged. However, the court invalidated it and told them to amend it and come back. He's still the subject of an investigation, and the Romanian prosecutors are still building a case on him. On top of Andrew Tate still being the subject of an investigation currently ongoing, the women who were the subjects of this New York Times expose against Andrew Tate, they have came forward and told New York Times that they are currently cooperating with Romanian officials, and they are ready and willing to testify against Andrew Tate. The expose is like a really, really, really long read, which I don't know if it's bad news for Andrew Tate or good news for Andrew Tate. On one hand, it's probably too long for most people who are just curious fans to get through. On the other hand, if it's that long, that meant they have enough evidence or have enough receipts or have enough information to pack on to make it that unreadable, which means the officials probably have the same information. Now, they addressed his pimping past, him beating women, like putting hands on women, but much of that stuff you probably already heard before. But I do want to get to the essay, which I feel like is like the most serious things, where multiple women are coming forward and they're accusing Andrew Tate of raping them. One of the girls who did some cam girl work for Andrew Tate, she would document multiple times where she would say Andrew Tate raped her. Now, one of the incidents was apparently on the second night of her working as a cam girl in this hotel. She fell asleep and woke up. Now, when she woke up, she says Andrew Tate was behind her, touching her legs. Then she says he pulled down her underwear and grabbed her throat, forcing himself inside of her. And he will say, "You're such a good little girl." She remembered him saying while he choked her until she struggled for breath. Navarro said that she repeatedly told Andrew Tate to stop and try to loosen his grip on her throat, but he continued. That was not the last time he did it. That was the first time, not the last. Because that same woman would also claim that one morning she woke up to Andrew Tate and another woman having intercourse next to her. She shushed them, and the woman got up and went into the bathroom, and when she was gone, Navarro says that Andrew Tate put her in a chokehold and raped her for a second time. Though she clawed at his arms, he wouldn't release his grip. She said she was scared that he was going to kill her. She told him, she told the person who was reporting this, then the woman emerged from the shower and he rode off of her once the other woman came back. On top of just the sheer accusations, why this looks so bad is because multiple women kind of share similar stories of exactly how he raped them. Now, I would say him going to court with these allegations and the court refusing to indict, or even when he, had the court case in the UK, there was a warrant out for his arrest. He shows up, they refuse to file criminal charges. So at every step he takes, he, for the most part, has beaten all of the criminal charges, even though that he has never been to court, but he goes to court and the judge invalidates the criminal charge, said this is not enough, it's not strong enough, fix it, or the UK just refusing to charge him at all. He has somehow defeated all criminal charges. So that's, to me, works in his favor. It's hard for us to say, these allegations are true, or that, he's guilty, or offer some type of serious indictment here when he has beaten all the criminal charges. However, an indictment on him, I would say, is women from different walks of life, from different planets of the earth who were not communicating with each other, had similar stories of how they were great. In terms of the one woman, Navarro claims that he came from behind her, put her in a chokehold, right, before putting himself inside of her forcibly. Another woman, Lauren Southern, who accusations, by the way, is not new. She just came out, I think, last year and accused Andrew Tate of this. However, this New York Times, expose shined a really huge light on her accusations, and she was interviewed and she gave, I guess, her recollection of it again. So we would talk about her new statement, but she would claim that Andrew Tate would press his arms up against her throat and stop her from breathing or reaching when he did it. So those are similar women, those are similar stories from two different women, describing exactly how he was able to rape them, and they both had similar details on how he did it. So to me, that looks bad and that's crazy. Lauren Southern is actually a content creator who used to do trad content. She at some point I think disavowed or denounced the trad content, and she didn't come out until like 2025 or 2024. Friend of Andrew Tate invited Lauren Southern to Romania to give her the opportunity to have a business meeting with Andrew Tate and ask him for money to invest in something. Now, Andrew Tate will later brag on like his podcast and other shows of his that she came for a business meeting to invest and he ain't invest $1. So he will kind of brag about how I ain't invest $1 and I still got the crack. Now, she will claim that, you know, when she got there, they went out to a bar, they ordered bottle services, they took a couple shots of vodka, and she suddenly began to feel her consciousness was collapsing. And according to her, when she woke up, she was in bed with Andrew Tate at the hotel, at her hotel. Now, according to her, Andrew Tate started kissing her and pulling off her clothes. Now, she told a reporter that she tried to push his hands away, but he wouldn't stop. Then he hooked his arms around her neck, just like the other woman said. He put his arms around her neck and stopped her from breathing or stopped her circulation. So when Andrew Tate hooked his arm around her neck and started to squeeze, she remembers thinking, oh, ish, this guy is actually going to rape me. Lauren Southern, who is anti-abortion and was terrified of getting pregnant, she began to plead with Andrew Tate, I know what you're going to do here. Please just wear a condom, please. Lauren Southern remembers fading in and out of consciousness as Andrew Tate raped her unprotected and choked her. Afterwards, he sat on the edge of the bed and says, don't tell the press I raped you. Now, according to her, she said that she can't tell the press even if she wanted to because her entire brand was shaming women for going out drinking with men, being promiscuous. So if she would have came out and said, yo, he raped me back in 2018 when she was still part of this like traditional trad wife, tradcon scene and admitted to going out drinking with a man that she met that night and got raped by him, well, then her entire brand would be ruined according to her. So, and that's what she told him, right? My whole brand is literally talking about how stupid women get themselves in situations like this. There's nothing I can say without destroying my career, so congratulations. Now, in a car to the airport, Lauren Southern says she discovered burst blood vessels around her eyes and marks on her neck. Back in Toronto, she was examined by a nurse who specialized in SA. On an assessment form, the nurse reported that Lauren Southern had been raped and strangled by a well-known male at a hotel in Romania and has suffered an intimate injury. So she at least went and got a rape kit and got it documented in 2018, even though she didn't go public. All right. Listen, I've never had to choose between outing the person who raped me and keeping my career. I've never had to choose between the two. I never
She went back out to Romania to see him again. Oh no, she went back out to see him. She went back out to see him. She goes back out to see him. She flew back out to see him.
You see, the only problem with that little tale, Tommy, is you took the story too far. If you just kept it to kind of things that couldn't really be proven, you might have gotten away with it too. But I happen to have travel documents that directly disprove this claim, 100%. I went once to Romania with you, one entry, one exit, in 2018 when you took me to a business meeting to meet your pimp friend. And here's the thing, Tommy, I don't even think you could give a date when I went back. I don't think you can even give a ballpark. Not least of all because you just made it up, but also because you would trip over another lie, another location I was at. Seriously, if you are a follower of Tommy's and you believe his version of events and the things that he's saying about me, ask him. Say, Tommy, hey, when did Lauren go back to Romania? Ballpark. Not even exact date. Don't need that. Week, month even. He won't be able to give you an answer because he lied. And every single thing he has said in the past few months, I guess it's been years now, about me, has been to cover his own ass and to cover for his sex trafficker friend. Like I said, I may not be able to disprove every single fabrication you've told about me. That's just he said, she said. But I can disprove this one. And I'd like to think when it's something this serious and a lie that big, it'll make intelligent people think twice about all the other things you're saying about me. And you know, the craziest part to me is that even if the rest of the stuff you made up, like that story about seeing me in the hotel, or, you know, even going back to Romania, even if that stuff was true, it wouldn't discount anything else that I said. It wouldn't. And I hope people press you on this. I hope they ask you, when did she go back to Romania, Tommy? Even better, what was the first thing she said to you when you saw her in the taxi in the morning? Why won't you answer that? Because this is serious. It's not just about us. There are 40 plus victims, known victims, women and girls, British women and minors, the very people you claim to protect. This isn't just about our egos or our reputations. This is a much bigger case than that. Like, seriously, if you're watching this, forget about me. I'm a mess. I'm a mess. I mean, obviously I've seen all of the crazy stuff about myself on X, on the internet. Of course.
If they're lying about things that are obviously debunkable, then to me, you have to ask yourself, why are they lying? Like, why are they saying, hey, she came back to visit when, you know, again, if you come back to visit, you have, like, re-entry, like, documents, right? You have travel documents. You have things where you can prove, hey, I was here. Yo, here's a step of my visa. Right? So, like, you can show, hey, I don't have a re-entry document, right? There's no travel documents that shows that I came back. And if she didn't come back, then why are you lying? Why are you trying to set it up and frame it this way, right? You will only lie about something if you have something to hide. Now, again, as a public figure, well, I wouldn't even consider myself like a public figure, but I'm somebody who I guess is visible online. I understand that all it takes is somebody coming out and saying something about you. So I'm gonna be sensitive in that regard and not fully indict Andrew Tate, you know, until they go back to court with another indictment and have that validated. And if, you know, listen, man, if he has his day in court and he gets found guilty, then we can have a conversation. But as of now, if every time he goes to court they're saying we don't have enough evidence, how can we call this man guilty yet? Okay, but y'all let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. If you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, then click on this video right here somewhere on my screen, somewhere here, 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 or here, to find out why Child the Builder is begging and crying in a message from jail after getting this really bad message from the warden. I'm gonna see you guys in this video right here somewhere on my screen. I'm out of here, folks. Peace. Send me a hype below if you really want to support. Out of here, folks.
The fuck out of here, gang. Team fucking suck.
solving a murder of Takeoff. Some people call that police work. I call that great journalism. I do it. I come online, right? I speak on cases. I solve cases. So if that's, feds that work police, I'm the feds. You got me. But I think Lil Baby was being more specific. I don't think he was just speaking about the general journalism. I think Lil Baby was speaking about the incident in Miami. Academics was at Brand Risk. Everybody was having a good time. He left Brand Risk. One of Lil Baby's single fans like this, I don't know, man. This was a dude who wasn't even a part of Lil Baby's entourage. He don't got a chain, right? He came around a couple times, right? Got to thinking he feeling like he's 4 p.m. for real. So he's seen Academics, and I guess because he wants to be down with Lil Baby, he sees Academics. He plays as a fan of Academics, goes up to the car, tries to slap Academics. Academics ducked it. His security drove off, but they spun back around to see if the dude was still outside. But when Academics came back online, I think Academics did the wise strategy where, you don't necessarily give too much attention to the fan or the groupie who try to slap you. You give the attention to Lil Baby. So Academics essentially assigned the blame to Lil Baby. And I think this is the incident where Lil Baby is calling Academics the fed for it.
Because, baby, if you got a problem with me, don't tell your mans you squashing it with me. Don't get on the phone right away. I'll squabble up with you anywhere, anytime. You dumped it, and then you had your assistant squabble with you anytime. Scrawny as a drug addict. Stupid as I've been on that. DM me. You DM me where you at. I DM you where I'm gonna be at. You never showed me self trolling. I will wash you anywhere. Facts. But we squashed it because Rod Wave is a mutual of ours. But don't fake squash it and say your girl's holding to ever do nothing. So I called you in the morning and I said, bro, you did that? And baby, you gotta respond. I don't make this loud. You gotta respond to this. You're gonna either be pussy or you're gonna stand on this. I did backdoor that. Oh, it was cool. When I asked you in the morning, you know what you said? So the first thing I said, yo, bro, you know what? Came up to me, he said some 4 p.m. You know the first thing you said? Yo, chill, man, you on that police ass? I'm scared of this 4 p.m. Bet. Cool. I said, yo, nah, baby, like this. So he's like, what? You acting dumb. I said, bro. He said, yo, well, you got
Academics didn't do what everybody expected him to do, which is 5 charges, which to me would show that he's not 2 cents, right? Because, bro, you do that to me, right? You send somebody and they even attempt to slap me, I'm filing charges, bro. Right? I'm filing a restraining order against you. I'm going the full way, bro. I want you to be prosecuted for this. Academics did not go the full way. He didn't call the police. He didn't do what I guess would be expected. But I guess because Academics said that when dude pulled up, he screamed 4PF. Lil Baby abandoned the 4PF like lingo, mantra, motto. He abandoned it all because he don't want to be on gang files and a part of the RICO, right? So he started this new thing called Can't Be F with, which to me makes no sense, right? Like you wanted to get away from 4PF because 4PF was on gang files and on the RICO monitor. So he started a new thing called Can't Be F with. Now the same dudes from 4PF is rocking Can't Be F with, changing out. It's a new gang again. So yeah, it just makes no sense at all. But I don't think you can call Act defensive. Act is telling Lil Baby, hey, I'm trying to box. I want to fight. Right? I want to get down. We can squabble. I don't want to go to the police. I want to fight you.
if you really do a real poll in a physical combat, that a scrawny drug addict, right, who basically can't say his ABCs, he's dyslexic, you know what I mean? He's half schizophrenic, missing a couple chromosomes. He's definitely that he could get in a physical combat with me, and no matter what they think about me, I'm not saying I'm a professional boxer or nothing. If we were locked in a room and only one man could walk out alive, who do you think would walk out alive?
You're Jamaican, bro. Hold on. Those crackheads got squabbles. The crackheads got squabbles. I've seen that.
All right, well, if we factor that, you're right. If we factor that in, maybe if he go in there off like 15 per 50s, and you know, like now I'm choking him half to death, and like his corner gets to put like a on his lip, and he's like, maybe I don't know. Here's the thing, I talk tough to these guys because I don't think if they didn't have their crew, they
Academics for his location when he was in New York, I think a few years ago, and Academics gave Lil Baby his address to pull up for them to squabble. So if Ak is going through every means and every way to try to fight you or try to get violent with you, because apparently, you know, it's up, I don't think you can quite call him the feds, right? Because even like how Academics is going, if you do want to go to the feds or even try to file charges, they'll look at his actions online and say, bro, you're not no victim, bro. You threatened this man, you feel me, like to fight this man, you want to pull up on him. Like, at this point, it's mutual violations, okay? Now, Academics responded back to this Lil Baby thing. Like, he actually found out when he was live on stream that Baby dropped a snippet dissing him. Like, I don't know if Baby did that, right, intentionally. But, yeah, Academics responded back. Now, Academics took the opportunity to essentially declare war on all of the Atlanta and disrespect all of Atlanta because of Lil Baby.
Hey, little baby, I'm making short and sweet to you. Yes. You're hanging with the police. Y'all in Atlanta, we've heard you talk to the police. You can't say I'm the feds when we heard your man talking to the feds. I'm gonna cook you later. But let me just say that now. Let that back. You stupid ass. Imagine calling me the feds when you run passenger princess with the feds.
He's referring to this video right here where Young Thug is looking absolutely ecstatic to finally be in good graces with Lil Baby, because him and Lil Baby had some type of like falling out. And obviously we know from the record, when pick up the phone, yeah, call me a spider. So Young Thug dropped a video looking like a groupie riding around town with Lil Baby. So Academics is calling Young Thug the feds. Now, I think what Young Thug did in that interrogation room is out of pocket, is not cool, is no excuse for him whatsoever. When I say that is telling, when I say that is snitching, I wouldn't go that far, and here's why. When I think about snitching, who did you put in jail? What was the intent? So if you go into the courtroom and you really don't give up any incriminating information on anybody, now you said too much, you was talking too much, but you ain't really give any information they could use at that man trial. And if your intent was to go there and say, nah, man, Roscoe ain't do nothing, I can call you the police, I can call you the feds, because your intent was not to throw somebody under the bus to get time off. Young Thug volunteered to go there because according to him, he wanted to go there to kind of, you know, help our Roscoe case, right? But he's just dumb enough to where the feds were able to kind of spin him a little bit.
I got y'all on tape talking to the cops. You want to do a marathon?
When life happens, healthcare.gov is here for you. Like it's there for Marcus. Even though he lost his job, he's not worried about finding a new health plan anymore. There are many ways to qualify. Visit healthcare.gov where millions have found the coverage they need.
My hosting a WooCommerce store earns me money all day, every day. I'm Gabrielle Scarlett, and by day, I'm a brand strategist and designer. Then by night, I have a side hustle of making social media template packs and selling them to small business owners on my personal WooCommerce website. I play with my site whenever I have the time, and with managed WooCommerce hosting, I can do everything I need to do. And if I ever need help, I can reach out to the super helpful, super friendly support team at Hostinger, no matter what hour of the day or night it is. Get started with your online store now with managed WooCommerce hosting from Hostinger. It's fantastic, and I would recommend it to anyone.
It's a reason why when y'all drop songs, y'all gotta say, this a rat, this a rat, this a rat. Y'all from Atlanta, all y'all been doing is talking to the cops. That's the Atlanta special, you stupid ass. You can't call nobody the cops. If I'm the cops, Young Thug the lieutenant. You can't call nobody the cops. I can't. This is like, oh, this is history. Oh, I'm gonna quote this beyond belief. He called me the cops. His man talking to the cops, giving them their number. They're trying to pull a street move on me. I ain't even call the cops. His man is saying to the cops, you want to take my number in case you need follow-up info? I won't tell. Just don't tell the world. No, now these Atlanta cooks. This said I'm the cops. He's riding front seat with the cops. He used to be rapping with another who's just like the cops. That's from Atlanta. That's the police station. know Lil Baby not talking. Listen, I'm sorry to tell y'all. A rapper calling anybody a rat. Yo, baby, you're the biggest rapper. You're a rapper. You're a rapper from Atlanta. Rats.
Words like this, you gotta be able to stand on, man. Now, I don't doubt Ack can stand on it, because, again, Ack is a multi-millionaire, right, with a gun collection this high and this large, so Ack is good. But words like this, you gotta be prepared for what comes with it, right? Now, I don't think Lil Baby is a rat at all, like, obviously not, right? Now, Lil Baby hang out with some sketchy individuals, possibly, but I don't think Lil Baby is a rat. But calling him a rat, you gotta be able to stand on this, right? This is gonna get bad, right? Yo, I know academics like once said, yo, that Chicago is like out of his parameter of travel at all. Like, he don't even take layovers in Chicago. Like, if a layover is in Chicago, he's booking another flight. Not happening. I think Atlanta is the new destination. I think Atlanta is like the new Chicago now for Ack, bro. Atlanta is completely out of academics' parameter of travel, bro. Because when they catch academics in Atlanta, it's gonna get back. Now listen, somebody say Flacco, you probably banned from other places too. Yeah, but I'm willing to stand on what I said about those people in those cities. And as long as academics is willing to stand on what he's saying right now, because calling another man a rat is powerful. Now you can say he hang with rats, but Ack just said, Lil Baby, you a rat. You a rat from Atlanta. You a rat. So is all rappers from Atlanta rats? That's some powerful statement right there, bro. Right? Because now it's bigger than just Lil Baby, bro. Like, you got like real street dudes. Like, you got like, bro, like dudes like, I don't know, man, like Nudie and Baby Drill. They hear, yo, if you're a rapper from Atlanta, you're a rat. Is Baby Drill a rat? So this is, yeah, I don't know. Again, if I'm Ack, I don't know if I'm gonna go this far. I would have stuck with Lil Baby. I would have went off on Lil Baby, but I'm not going as far as say, yo, you are a rapper from Atlanta. Atlanta is a police station. You are a rap because this is terrible, man.
What you talking about? Chat. My blood is boiling. I can't wait to go on the street. I'm gonna drop 30. Nah, I ain't 30. I'm gonna drop 300 tonight. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Thank you, God. I only got 2 things for tonight. Iceman, cook bacon. And the rest of y'all Atlanta snitches, y'all gotta get it too. I'm sorry. Because y'all can't call people rats. Nope. We're stopping it today. We're stopping it today. I'm from Atlanta. Like, what the?
Fucking retard.
You might have been born with a badge. Yo, Lil Baby hanging out with all the Atlanta rats calling me a fake. Are you kidding me? Lil Baby's hanging out with actual
Playing with these shitty ass niggas, son.
got interrogation tapes. Who's been up on the stand? Who's documented collaborating? And Lil Baby, that has the audacity to say, I'm the feds? And hip hop gonna allow this? Y'all gonna let Lil Baby still act like they gangster while they rap? At least with 6ix9ine, y'all told me like, yo, shut the stop that pussy head. You're telling. We got.
If I'm Ack, I'm not going at all of Atlanta, bro. Right? Because there's a lot of rats in Atlanta. We know this, right? You know, these dudes is telling. But there's also a lot of real ones, bro. Right? There's a lot of dudes who is stomped out who don't play that rat stuff, man. So to add that blanket rat title to Atlanta, I don't know. I wouldn't have done it, right? But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think, man? Especially because like Atlanta is one of those cities where you can't really avoid. You kind of have to go to Atlanta, like for the most part, you can avoid going to, I don't know, like Chicago, right? Like you can avoid for the most part going to LA. Like you don't need to go to South Central, right? Like I could go to California, and, like you feel me, and very well, like you feel me, like do what I got to do without going to South Central Los Angeles. But you can't really avoid Atlanta when you go to Georgia. Like that's probably the only city where things are going on at, right? But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this? But do you believe that academics call it Atlanta rappers all rats? Was that a good idea? Let me know. All right, if you're
fucking god, nigga.